What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Talking Halos. I'm your host today, Jared Timms, and I'm joined alongside my co-host, my partner in crime, Nate Green. Nate, it has been a while. Everybody has been looking for you. Everybody thought you fell off a cliff. I don't know, but we do a podcast without you, and everybody wants you back on it. So you're back. How's it going?
We did jump off cliffs, but we jumped off cliffs into the water. So
Yeah. Hawaii
if
baseball
that
game.
helps.
Um, no, I'm not giving it to you. Just like I'm not giving you anything prediction wise either. You're still 0-3. We're going to continue with that. We'll get a prediction in
I,
here.
I got mine right. I literally called it, but it's all right.
No, you didn't. You got to be on the show for it to work. But just want to thank everybody here for watching and listening, talking Halos. Really do appreciate you here. If you're on YouTube, go ahead, drop a comment in the comment section down below. If you're watching us live, let us know how you feel about the Halos. I believe I don't have what they are right now up. It's been a long week for
11
everybody.
and 10.
11 and 10. I'll take it. I will gladly take it. Bad way to start the show, me not knowing what the Angels are right now, but that just shows baseball season for a lot of us. I mean, again, Nate coaches, I coach, Derek teaches, so a lot of stuff on the side. But we are here to talk a little bit of Angels baseball for you. Again, let us know how you feel about the Angels, how they've started off, all that fun stuff. We had a fun show as we're doing this once a week at the moment. We're going to be working our way into twice a week. Um, yeah, no, I'm super excited. You can follow us on all our social medias, X, Instagram, Facebook. Follow myself on X, Jared_Tim's Nate at Nate Green 34. If you're watching us or if you're listening to us, give us 1 second to pay those bills. All right, Nate, let's get it rolling. Angels baseball. Let's recap these before we dive into. There are some talking points that I do want to talk about. Mainly a lot of stuff that we've talked about in the past about this team, but let's recap the last two series. Angels played the Texas Rangers. Angels played the San Francisco Giants. I'm going to let you know that you would not have predicted the San Francisco Giants series. I don't think. I don't think I would have either, but let's talk Texas Rangers series first. If we really want to talk about it all that much, Angels get swept. They lose 4-0. They lose 3-1. They lose 5-3. Good news about those scores, competitive-ish games. I know the offense wasn't there, but they're not getting destroyed. They're not getting beat out the building. They're playing competitive-ish baseball. To an extent. Do you have anything else? Like, I don't want to dive into a sweep. I really don't. They didn't have offense. I said that coming into that Texas Rangers series that I was worried that they don't play well there. They don't hit well. And it kind of continues over. So I don't know if you have anything you want to take away from that Texas Rangers series. We'll talk about Neto being back. We'll talk about the Hanowitz situation, and we'll talk about the Angels not walking after we go over the recaps. I know there's a couple, those were the couple things we wanted to talk about, but
Yeah.
you got anything on that series?
Well, it does help that Texas is the worst offense in Major League Baseball right now. So I will say that is a big helping point for the Angels. Texas is pitching out of their minds, and it looks like they were able to hold the Angels down in that series. But I the Angels don't play good in Texas. They haven't played good in Texas in a while. So yeah, I wasn't really too shocked with the Texas series. The San Fran series, though, as we'll get to in a minute, was very fun. Good to see San Francisco here. Reminds us of 2002 and things like that. And plus, we haven't got to see San Fran in a couple of years, so fun.
Yeah, interleague play always fun. I miss the series at the ballpark in Arlington. I miss those Angels games where the Angels, first off, the Angels were good, so I'll say that. But second,
High
when
scoring,
teams hit a lot, those were fun
high
games.
scoring.
Yeah, those were fun games. I mean, you got to tip the cap at what Texas has done building around that stadium and that team because it's a very much so more of a pitching environment there now. I know they've kind of messed around with the fences and things like that, but as you can tell from the scores, not a lot happened. I mean, you expect pitching matchups, which you and I really enjoy, but the casual fan does not. So I don't want to dive into that Rangers series too much. Angels take 2-3 though from San Francisco. Great feeling as well. I was kind of down and out after that Rangers series. I was like, oh, now they got to play a really good team in San Francisco who's playing some pretty good baseball. They faced one of the best pitchers in baseball in Logan Webb. They're able to win that game 2-0. Tyler Anderson, your best friend,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely pitches good enough to win a ball game, keep them in a ball game, and that's kind of been the theme with Tyler Anderson early on is pitch good enough to uh to keep the Angels in ball games. And I think that's kind of the theme for a lot of the Angels pitching is keep, quality starts. I know a lot of people don't mention that, but if the Angels can get a quality start, if the Angels pitching starting pitcher can get a quality start, it's gonna give them a chance to win a game. I know it's easier said than done, and it's kind of a it seems way too easy, but that's kind of the way I feel about this team right now is they're gonna give quality starts. They're gonna feel like right now they're gonna give them a chance to the pitching's gonna give them a chance to win a ball game. It's gonna come down to the hitting. And the Angels pitching was just better than Logan Webb that day, 2-0. Game two, the Angels lose 3-2. Trout homers twice. I don't know how many times in Trout's career he's homered twice and the Angels have lost. That might have been the first time. I'd have to go and do a little bit of research on that. But yeah, the Angels lose a tough one for sure. The offense wasn't really rolling. You didn't get guys on around Trout for multi-run home runs. If that makes sense, two solo shots, obviously, and then the big game three walk off with Adell and the ninth inning comeback, and Michael Darrell Hicks gets his first major league win, which was really cool to see as well. But yeah, I mean that San Francisco Giants series brings a little bit more hope, especially going to Pittsburgh, where Pittsburgh isn't playing well. You're not going to have to face Paul Skeens or not Jerry Jones pitching, but you don't have to face anybody that great in
No
Pittsburgh.
Mitch Keller either.
Yeah, you don't have to face anybody, and that's it. Wins or wins, Nate. I'd like if
Yeah,
you have a
no,
chance to
that's
win, I'll
that's
take it.
those are the games that you have to win.
Yeah.
Like this is actually a really really big series, and you and I are going to sit here and be like, hey, they should win 2 out of 3 minimum, probably even sweep if you're really really realistic.
Now,
And
don't give it away
this
now,
is
but I
what the
was
good,
gonna call a sweep. Yeah.
but this is what the good teams are going to do, right? Like the Dodgers would go into this series and they would sweep. Um, the the Phillies, they would go into this and they would sweep. Um, the good teams, that's what they do. They take care of business against teams where it's like, hey, we don't have to see their ace, we don't even have to see their number two, and their offense is any good either. So they take care of those series. So yeah, and I don't know. You could argue the Angels' best pitcher is pitching in this series. So
Yes, absolutely. Let's go over the San Francisco series. You got any talking points? Anything you wanna talk about there? I mean, again, three close games for sure. Two quality wins, I'd say. I mean, again, looking at the last 6 games, not horrible baseball by any means by the Angels. Just their offense didn't get going in Texas. No surprise there. Offense still really hasn't gotten going in the San Francisco series either. I mean, they played just good enough to win. The pitching was good enough to or was good to win ball games. And I guess it's kind of into our first talking point here is Angels aren't walking at all. I think the first walk in it was Shonowell walked for the first time in that third game. It was the first time for the Angels in like I don't know what it was like 50 something innings, I think is what they were saying.
I thought it was Trout's walk, but it could have been Shanuel's
I don't
walk.
know,
Hold
but
on. Let me I had the
regardless,
stat.
it goes to the point. I'll let you look it up. It goes to the point that I've been making for a couple series now is if the Angels offense can get going because they're going to be very home run reliant. If the Angels offense can do that and hit home runs and get rolling, then they're going to win games. But when they're not getting on base, look at the Texas Rangers series and look at even the San Francisco Giants series where they did get on base, but they hit a lot of home runs as well. Then it's going to be tough for them to win ball games, and that's what we saw in Texas. Um, so yeah, did you find the stat, buddy?
Well, I saw on Friday they didn't walk on Thursday or Friday.
Yeah,
Saturday, oh, Hoppy walked one time. So they walked one time in 27 innings.
brutal. It's
Um,
that's not it's not a recipe for success. I'll say that, especially when you're
no,
not getting
that's how you lose games.
yeah, especially when you're not getting on base. They're not striking out a whole bunch, I'd say, but they're also not getting on base a whole bunch. They're like Mike Trout. I feel like they're just kind of also getting a little bit unlucky. To an extent, I know everybody's in a sense kind of freaking out about Mike Trout, but you look at his expected batting average, his expecting on base percentage, and I think we were talking about it before the show, is about 200 points higher than his actual batting average. I
Close
think he's
to, yeah.
batting 180 and expected batting average of 320 or something like that, and expected on base percentage of close to 400. So yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised with the first 21 games of the 2025 season. I mean, if you told me that the Angels were going to be one game over 500, they would have won, what was it, four of the first six series, five of the first six series, or something like that. I Yeah, I mean, I'd be extremely happy with where they were, especially with the teams they were playing, as well. I mean, you had to face a tough Cleveland team. You had to face a very tough San Francisco Giants team, and you were able to beat them 2 out of 3. I know Texas series they got swept, but yeah, you played Tampa Bay and you played them very well. So all in all, right now, I'm extremely excited. Not extremely excited. I'm cautiously optimistic. That's going to continue to be the like, I mean, we've been here for the past
That's
10
all
years
you
and
say. Yeah.
cautiously optimistic. No, I'm a little more than cautiously optimistic. I'm happy with the way that this ball club is playing baseball right now because I didn't think it was going to be the case. And I feel like right now they could be a 500 team. Like the offense isn't hitting very well and the you know, pitching a lot better than we expected. If the pitching's going to come back down to earth, the offense is going to get a
Mhm.
little bit better, I'd say. I don't think we can expect them to continue to hit home runs at the pace that they're hitting home runs, but I would say that I think the offense is going to get on base a little bit more than they are doing right now. And I think that kind of evens it out a little bit at the end of the day. So I, I'm cautiously optimistic with this, but I also feel like right now, in if the Angels continue to play like this, they could be 500 team working their way into July, into August, and um, you know, we'll kind of see. Nate, I feel very I don't know what the words are right now, but go ahead, bring some negativity for me, man.
No, no. Tyler
You good?
Anderson's first quality start of the year, huge. He's been one of the best. He's got one of the best batting averages against in Major League Baseball so far. Um, this kind of reminds me of how it was last year. He was very good for the first half of the year, and then kind of the game evened out for him where, you know, when you have one of the best batting averages against, it's very hard when you don't strike guys out to carry that all year long. But that means the Angels are playing pretty good defense behind him, which is very important. It was one of the talking points for this year is the Angels got to be way better defensively. And they were pretty good in the series. I think they had one error in 3 games, which was pretty good for the Angels, especially where they were at last year. So that was huge. Just to see the bullpen has been pretty good in key moments. I think that they've imploded when they're down, but when they have a decent lead, or even a close game, it seems like the guys that you and I were expecting to be important for this team have been very good. Kenley Jansen's been good. Zephyr John has had like one blow up, I think, but for the most part, he's been pretty good. Um,
Brian Johnson's been
and there
good
was one
minus his
who,
first outing. Brian Johnson's been good
yeah,
minus his
Johnson's been
first
good
outing.
minus his first outing. Like they've been pretty good. There's been like 1 or 2 outings per one really bad outing per guy, it feels like. And it feels like those have come where it's like, oh, the Angels are down 5-1. He gave up 4 runs in an inning. They lost 8-1, or oh, they were down 3-0 and he gives up 2 runs and somehow the Angels come back to win the game 6-5 or things like that. But like there hasn't been that there haven't been too many times where it's like, oh, hey, the Angels are up 4-2 going into the seventh or eighth, and we give up 2 in the eighth and 1 in the ninth, and we lose the game 5-4. It's like that was basically what the Angels were the last couple of years, where that bullpen hasn't really been able to hold late in games. Yeah, the bullpen would have good numbers and things like that, but the Angels were one of the worst teams at converting saves until the last. I think it was last year where they were pretty good, but Esteves had some times in his first year where he was terrible, and that's kind of why the Angels went to go get a quote unquote closer with Esteves, is because they were I think they were last in Major League Baseball in converting saves, and then Esteves comes in, has a decent year for the Angels, has another decent year. They ended up trading him, and now they bring in Kenley Jansen, who's been unbelievable for the Angels. So I think those are the two big things for me: is Tyler Anderson kind of pitching good early, and if you're saying they're going to be right around 500, it's probably not going to be good enough to get them into the postseason. Just being realistic. But if Tyler Anderson can continue to pitch good enough, maybe somebody comes calling in July. I still don't think he brings a lot of value back in July, but you never know. Maybe somebody just gets super desperate, like Texas did a couple years back, where they traded Cole Reagans for a Aroldis Chapman, and the Angels are able to steal one of those really good young pitchers. Um, Obviously, not Bobby Miller, but someone like Bobby Miller, who's a big time prospect or was a big time prospect, has struggled in majors. Like, hey, the Angels pull off a trade for a guy like that, and he turns out to be really good. Like Cole Reagans was kind of like that for Texas. He was a big time prospect for them, struggled a little bit, goes to Kansas City, figures some things out. So, I mean, if the Angels could do that again, that would be really really huge. And I'm sure we'll get to talk a little bit more about Neto and some other things. But yeah, so far it's been good, and I thought I thought the offense was going to. I mean, you and I didn't think the offense was good enough. We said they needed another piece, and they decided not to waste any money. And I think we're seeing that they still need one more piece offensively to really step up. Like if Trout goes back to being, the 160, 170 WRC plus, which I don't think he's going to be. I think he's going to sit more in that 120-ish, 120, 125, which is still a really, really good player. Um, they need one more offensive piece. And I don't Soler is way too hot and cold to be that guy. They need one more piece to really make this a legitimate offense.
A couple talking points that you mentioned. Yeah, I'm the Tyler Anderson, Kenley Jansen thing. Absolutely, I think that even Luis Renifo, if those three guys can play good baseball up until July, we're having a lot of fun here because
Yep.
there's gonna be some interesting trades that I think would happen there. I think that the front office is smart enough to make those trades. When it comes to the offense, I'm gonna push it a little bit and say that I think Mike Trout's more of a 140 WRC plus guy still. If not higher. I think that once he starts hitting, once he gets hot, not that he hasn't even been hitting, he's been only hitting home runs. Hasn't gotten anything to fall. I think that right now he's a 120 WRC plus guy. I think that he can kick that up a little bit for sure. I don't know if it'll be too little too late, but I think that Mike Trout gets hot. I would agree with you. I didn't see the offense hasn't been good. That's what I
No,
was going to say. The offense hasn't been good, but it's been good. If that makes sense. Like it hasn't. It's been slow of late because of that Rangers series and things like that. But again, it's going to be it. This Angels offense is very much so going to be like Justin Upton. You get what I'm saying
which
there?
is Jorge Soler is very similar to that, where he'll
It's
have a
it's
couple weeks where he gets really hot.
mhm.
You know, he'll hit like 13 homers in a month. You'll be like, wow, this guy is unbelievable.
And
And then the next month he'll hit 2 homers and hit a buck 60. And
that's what the
that's
Angels.
kind
That's
of
what
what it
this
looks
Angels
like.
offense is going to be. I think.
That's why I'm saying they need one more piece to really push this thing over the edge, to be like, hey, this is a competent offense. Because being what they are right now, it's not competent. You're not gonna make the playoffs with a roster like this. You're not gonna win postseason games with this much of a hot and cold roster. And
No.
I think we've seen it. The Yankees, the Twins, I think it was Atlanta in one of their years. Like the teams that lead Major League Baseball in home runs don't typically win World Series, because it's very very hard um, to be
That good that long.
just to keep hitting home runs every single day. I think it's hard to be consistent home run hitting teams and win baseball games, because you run into a really good arm, and the really good arm's going to beat the guys who hit home runs most of the time. And all of a sudden you're looking up going, man, we're down 2-0 in a series because we faced two good arms. And yeah, we'll win game three, and then we'll lose game four and game five, or we'll lose game three and be out of, or game four and be out of this thing. So they do need some more pieces, and we'll see. Getting Zach Neto back will be very helpful. Can he make this offense a little bit better? Sure. But they need, there's some piece missing. And I'm sure you could point to a couple different positions for that, but one guy, somebody needs to step up.
I will say this when it comes to the playoffs, you get hot at the right time and it's tough to beat you in the playoffs. No matter who you face, it's tough to beat a hot team in the playoffs. Playoffs are different. You just need to be good enough to get there. And Angels just have not been good enough of late to get there. I don't know, 21 games in, maybe you never know. I don't see it. Not to be negative on that side of stuff.
But who
Uh,
was the hottest team going into the playoffs last year?
Arizona Diamondbacks. No, I don't remember.
Detroit. It was the
Detroit.
Detroit Tigers.
Detroit
Yeah,
Tigers. Exactly. And they played good.
but
Like, yeah. Year
but they
before
were
that,
still
Arizona.
beatable. It's not like they were,
Yes, but they
you
were
know,
hot. I mean, I don't
they
know
got hot and they won a series or
what
two. Yes.
exactly. No, but but what did we say about Detroit going into the playoffs? If they can win, if they can win that first series, that's a scary team.
They just didn't have enough pitching was the
Exactly.
problem.
Exactly. No,
And
exactly.
what and I'm sure that's what people would say about the Angels
Yeah.
if they made the postseason. It's like, hey, they don't have enough offense to be a legitimate force right now, or they don't have enough whatever. Because we've seen it, teams been able to win games with starting pitching and bullpen, but
Yeah.
they need more.
And last thing before we get there, the fact that we're talking about this, Nate, I am super proud of you for at least talking about the playoffs 21 games into this. Not that we're saying the Angels are going to make playoffs by any means, but it feels like the Angels stepping up just a little bit. Like it feels like they're trending in the right direction. Like it feels like we're seeing we're seeing good baseball from the Angels, and we haven't seen that in a while. I just want to see them play good baseball for 162 games, not just 20 games. So,
Yep.
with that being said, let's get on to a little bit more. Zach Neto's back. We talked about the offense. I just a little tidbit on that. You mentioned Neto a couple times. I think he is a huge spark plug, not just on the field, but in the clubhouse everywhere. I think that's what he brings to the field, especially after we talk to him and things like that. I just think that he is such a big piece of the puzzle for the Halos. I think that he brings a lot to the table, playing shortstop in the lineup, everything. I think that's just kind of the way he is, and he just brings that BDE. In all honesty, that's Zach Neto, and I'm very glad that he's back. I love watching him play the game. He plays the game right. He plays the game the way that you want a player to play the game, and I'm extremely happy to see him back in this lineup. You got anything else on Zach Neto? Because again, I think he's a spark plug. I think he can get the offense rolling a little bit too.
Yeah, he's honestly what the Angels have been running out there at shortstop offensively. We would have been better off like not not having the guy just hit eight guys because our shortstops have been that bad. So getting him in the lineup will make this lineup a little bit deeper and a little bit harder because I mean when you're running Tim Anderson who's got what three hits in his last like 15 at bats or something like
That's
that,
been bad.
20 at bats. You've got Kevin Newman who's been I don't even know if he's hitting 100. You had Nicky Lopez, who was DFA'd for Zach Neto. I don't even know if he was hitting 100. Like, it's been really bad, whoever they've run out there at shortstop. So, getting a guy who, even if Zach Neto hits 240, 250 with, 20 homers, like, I bet you if you played the whole year with Newman, Lopez, and Anderson, you, those three guys combined might not hit 20 homers, and Neto might do it by himself. So, definitely way, 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 way better than whatever we're running out there now. So I'm totally fine with Neto being back, and I think he will help the offense.
Yep, absolutely. And last thing I want to talk about before we get on to the previews, the Jack Hanowitz incident in Texas. This is probably gonna sound bad. We're
This
not
is where
middle
the negative.
we're we're
This is
not
where the
middle
negativity
we're
will go
definitely
down.
not middle aged. I would say we're more on the baseball traditionalist side, on this side of stuff.
Send him down.
Oh, that's a little
Send
much
him
in
down.
my opinion.
Send him down.
I thought Ron handled it very, very well. I'll tell you that much because that's a big
Yeah.
what Jack did was a big no-no. I'll tell you that much. Um but it's a learning point for a young pitcher as well, Nate. I know you don't like to hear that. I know you don't like to see that. I know I can feel what you're feeling for sure. And I know I understand the frustration. I get it where Jack was coming from. It's just a big no-no, and I'm hoping that's a big learning point. I'm excited to see him on the mound against Andrew Heaney in Pittsburgh or at home wherever the Angels play, because that'll be a big game for him because if he doesn't pitch well, yeah, it's a very bad look. But if Jack Hanowitz can bounce back and look like the old Hanowitz, then it's definitely a little bit different. But yeah, I'm not at the send him down by any means. I mean, make some of these guys make mistakes. You definitely don't want to make a mistake like that. Not that it was a mistake, but he was frustrated, rough game, everything like that. You can't let your emotions get the best of you. You can't show up any of your teammates, any of your coaches like he did. Um, but yeah, that's a big no-no. I'll say that right now. That's something that gets you a kangaroo court fined. I'm surprised. I am, but I'm also not surprised didn't get did or he didn't get sent down. I mean, it wouldn't have surprised me if they did, but I mean, he's not. He's a young. He's young. Obviously, he's a little bit immature on that side of stuff, and that's just something that happens. I get it. It's definitely not like the San Francisco Giants thing, where the guy got released the next day. But yeah, big no no. Definitely a big no no what Jack Hanowitz did. I'll say that much. So Nate, go ahead, get your negative out of the way, and we can get the preview
This
going.
this is where the negative comes out. But
Go
he's
ahead, do it.
24 years old. He's not young. Like he might be young and considered a major league baseball, but like you do this in high school, your coach is benching you. You do this in college, your coach is getting rid of you. You do this in minor league baseball,
I
the
agree.
the coach is getting on you. So like this isn't something that's like, oh hey, you haven't really seen this happen because you've never been taken out of a game before. Like no no no, you've been taken out of games before. You've had rough outings before. You've had times where you thought you should have been in the game before. Absolutely. And this is just unacceptable. For a guy who was a borderline not making the team going into spring, he had a very good spring. Not as good as Reed Detmers, in my opinion, but he had a good enough spring to win the last job in the rotation. You can't be acting like this. This is completely unacceptable. I would have sent him down, honestly, because it is a privilege to wear a Major League Baseball uniform. And I know people are going to be like, oh, this is really bad for Nate to be saying that he would have sent him down. But like, it is a privilege to be a Major League Baseball player. And for you to act like you are more important or better than whoever the Angels were bringing in, or you're better than the manager, or all these things, like, no, we can win without you. We have one without you. You don't start every game for us. You don't pitch every game. Like go go down to AAA and figure this out, because this will not be tolerated ever again, no matter what.
That's the difference though between college and high school and the major leagues. I get it. I really do. Um, it's a little bit different though. You definitely it's a big no-no. I'll tell you that much. I'm sure that Ron lit him up. I'm sure that if the team has the leaders that they're supposed to have, I'm sure Kyle Hendricks, I'm sure Kenley Jansen, I'm sure that players took care of where it needed to be. But yeah, that's a big no-no for sure. So let's get on to the preview here real quick, Nate. Nate, just a reminder, you're 0-3, I'm 2-2. Derek is 1-2. Want to just let you know again, you're 0-2, 0-3
I won the I
on the
won the
season.
Houston and Texas series, but no big deal.
No, you
It's
don't
not
get
my
to
fault you guys
you
didn't do a
don't get
show.
you don't get to
It's not
pick
my
if you're not
fault.
on the show. So Derek's
It's
picks
not my
don't
fault
count
you didn't
today.
do a show.
Derek's
If
picks
you would have
don't
done a
count
show,
today.
I would have told you. I could have texted you and been
Derek's
like, "Hey, Angels getting swept in Texas."
Derek's picks don't count today. Your picks don't count when you're not here. So, all right. Series or first game of the series, Bailey Faulkner against Jose Soriano. Who do you got?
Soriano.
Ooh,
Angels win.
good. I like that too. Angels win that game. Old friend Andrew Heaney against Jack Hanowitz in game two of the series. Who do you got?
Yeah, Andrew Heaney wins this one, and I'm a big anti Andrew Heaney guy, but somehow the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to win. Um, and this has nothing to do with me being pissed off about Jack Hanowitz in his
Sounds like it,
last
but okay.
the way he, huh?
Sounds like it, but okay.
No, it really isn't. I just think that last year Jack had a lot of balls that didn't get through, and this year there are a lot more balls that are getting through, or that are getting down for hits and things like that. And that's kind of the big difference between him being a really good pitcher and him being an average pitcher. When you throw 99 miles an hour and get no strikeouts, it is very hard to continue to pitch at the major league level. So,
I just wanted your
and the
prediction.
Pirates.
I need.
Well,
I
you're
need
sitting here telling me that's because I don't like Jack. It's like, no, it's just because he doesn't get punchies. Like you can't throw 100 miles an hour and get no punchies.
That's fine. Oh man, it's gonna come down to the wire there, and that is gonna be Angels walk it off. I'm gonna say on that one as well. That's gonna be a bullpen game for sure. Heaney against old friend Andrew Heaney against Jack Hanowitz, and the third game of the series. I would call it a getaway day, but they play a night game and then have to fly to Minnesota to play play a night game as well, which is completely weird. I don't know what the MLB was thinking about making this it, but Carmen Ladinsky against Tyler Anderson. Nate, who you picking?
Yeah, Anderson wins.
Ooh, good. I like that. I'm gonna
Angels
say
win
Angels
two out
sweep
of
the series.
three. I had Angels win 2 out of 3.
That's good. You'll probably win this one, your first one of the year, but I'm gonna be a little bit more optimistic just because the Angels don't have to face Skeens or Keller by any means, which is huge, 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 huge that they don't have to face either one of those guys. I'm gonna say the Angels take full advantage of it and sweep this series and go into Minnesota. And we can talk about the Minnesota series next podcast for sure, because I know we got a certain listener that loves the Minnesota Twins. So I don't know if he listens to our podcast anymore, but
He does. Oh
does
no,
he?
I get a text from him. Yes, I get a text from him like once a week,
Oh,
just sending
that's
out.
great. Thank you, Hot Dog. I
Shout
appreciate
out
that.
to him. Happy late birthday. I sent him a text on his birthday, but on the show, happy late birthday.
Yes, sir. Happy birthday. All right. So Nate, you saying 2 or 3, I'm saying the Angels sweep. Derek doesn't count. Let us know what your predictions are for this series if you want to play along with us as well. I'm not keeping track of anybody, but definitely can play along with us. With all that being said, guys, Nate, you have any final thoughts? The Atlanta Braves DFA'd the Atlanta
I
Braves
don't.
DFA'd Jose Suarez.
They did it way sooner than the Angels did, so they are way smarter at this than the Angels. He'll end up.
We're not getting
He,
into that. Don't
does
get
he
into
end
it.
up?
No,
Does he end
no,
up as an Angel or a White Sox? Those
no,
are the only 2 teams he's allowed to be.
don't, don't.
He's coming back.
No, he's not. Stop it.
He's coming back.
So, all right. With all that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching and listening here at Talking Halos. You can follow us on all our social medias, X, Instagram, Facebook. You can follow myself on XG Tim's Nate at Nate Green 34. Guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. Have a great rest of your day.